Hi guys, I'm going to show you how to use DepositLink to request a payment for a deposit for your sale or for your listing. So DepositLink, you can go directly to DepositLink.com. Depending on if you guys have used DepositLink before, you're either going to be signing in, or if you've never used it, you're going to need to activate your account, put your KW email in, and then go through the steps to set up your password and activate your account. Since I already have an account here, I'm going to hop into Jackie's account that we're using for testing purposes. Yours will look a little different just because you're probably not going to see all these active deals here. This is our office account, so keep in mind that yours may look just a tad bit different. You guys will go into deals. That is where you're going to go when you log in. Click on deals on the left hand side, and then you're going to be requesting payment for sale. So requesting a deposit, earnest money deposit. You can request a deposit directly from a buyer or through the buyer's agent. So if you have permission to send it directly to the buyer, you can do that. Most of us are sending the request through the buyer's agent, and then the buyer's agent is able to then forward it on to the buyer to make the payment. So you can go ahead and hit earnest money deposit. It's going to walk us through step by step, the property address. Let's see what we've got going on here. What can we make up? Here, why not? This looks great. I'm using this as a test, so just keep that in mind. So you're going to put your property address in. It says right now that no deals match this address. When you guys put in your listing, obviously there's going to be a listing that matches, okay? So we're creating a new deal for this property address. Obviously, your office is Greater Rochester, so if the drop-down's empty, you're going to need to click the drop-down and make sure you hit Greater Rochester. You guys aren't in the Lancaster or WNY Market Center, so you're only going to see the Greater Rochester option here. Select an agent associated with this deal. That would be you. You're the listing agent, so you're going to leave this as I am the agent, and you here are selecting your role again as just make sure this says listing agent if you are requesting a deposit for your listing. Hit continue. It's going to bring us in to enter the amount that is to be paid for the deposit. So let's just say $5,000 here, and then your payment deadline. Obviously in the contract, I believe it states 2 business days. Am I right? Am I wrong? I don't know, but make sure that you guys are setting this out a couple days so the link doesn't expire. If you know that you're not going to get the deposit for an extra day, if that's something that's been agreed upon, you guys can set the deadline out a little further if you need to. Choosing your payment destination. You guys don't have to worry about what goes here. We already have our Keller Williams escrow account linked in here for the bank account. So you're just going to see this escrow default right here, and that's what it needs to be. So don't worry about selecting anything else or putting in our office's escrow information. It is already right here in the drop down for you. So just make sure that is set to escrow for company bank account. Continue. This is where you can decide, okay, am I sending this directly to the buyer or requesting it through the buyer's agent? Most of the time I see agents requesting it through the buyer's agent. That way you don't have to worry about putting the buyer's email address and information in. The buyer's agent can handle that. So go ahead and click request through buyer's agent. It's going to ask for the buyer's agent email. We'll say Ellen is our buyer's agent, Matia, and we'll say she works for Awesome Realty Inc. And then continue. At this point, you've got a few other fields that you can fill out. They're not required. If you'd like to put the sale price in here, go ahead. Closing date. Obviously, this is just an estimate at this point, so we'll say we're closing in August. Reference code and MLS ID, you can leave blank. Those are not required. If you want to put the MLS ID in, go for it. Document center, share documents related to this payment with your finance team. If you needed to attach anything here, you absolutely could, but most of the time you're leaving this blank. Hit continue. And now it's going to give us a quick summary of what we are requesting. my earnest money deposit for 504 Affinity Lane. It is going to go to our Keller Williams escrow account. And here's the payment deadline. Sending it to the buyer's agent. And what's the payment for? Again, this is optional, but if you'd like to just pop the address in there, just in case, you can do that. I'm not going to click request payment because I don't want to request a payment from Ellen. So once you are completed here, go ahead and click request payment. An email is going to be sent to the buyer's agent. Of course, you guys can send a text or an email to them and say, hey, I just sent over the link for the deposit. When the buyer's agent opens up the email, it is going to ask the buyer's agent to then enter the buyer's information. And the buyer's agent can forward it on over. Buyer can fill in their payment information, and then you will receive an email once that payment has been made and confirmed. So when you guys get that email, and if you're logging back into your account, you will be able to see any deals that you have used DepositLink for. They're going to be right here in the deals section. And when you open it up, I don't want to open this up and invade anyone's privacy, but when you do click view, it is going to show you if it is a pending payment or if it's been completed, and you'll be able to check on the status of each of your sales right here. If anybody has any questions, definitely reach out, and hopefully this was helpful.